Hey, what's up guys? Lou with 405 Photo here, and today we are at Thunder Valley Raceway to photograph some cars at Streetcar Takeover. I think I'm gonna start off by doing some panning shots in the stands. So I'm gonna grab my Canon R6 and my Canon 135 Prime and climb up there and see what I can get. Alright guys, I'm up here in the stands, like I said, with my 135mm, and I just put a fresh ProMaster polarizer on it that I'm trying out. Bedford camera was kind enough to let me use one just to kind of see what I thought. As far as settings go, I'm going to try to lower my shutter speed down. So I'm going to go to maybe I'm going to start off like at 1/80, and depending on the lighting, which we got an overcast day today, I'm gonna be probably at about like f10, and then just play with my ISO until I get the exposure I'm looking for. I'm with a single focus point in the middle, and my camera set to servo mode. First up is first round eliminations of small tire here at Streetcar Takeover. So one thing I'm noticing right away with the electronic viewfinder is that the slight lag makes it a little hard to track the cars. I'm going to keep trying the single focus auto point in the middle, but I might switch it over to let the camera decide the autofocus points for me, maybe after this pass. Alright, so much better luck with setting the autofocus in the center and letting the camera decide what to focus on. There's still quite a bit of a lag when these cars are starting to speed up, that I'm a little bit behind the car before the electronic viewfinder can catch up. Changing lighting conditions right now, I'm shooting at 1/80th, but now I'm at about f13 and ISO 100. So the best combination I've found so far is setting the autofocus zone in the middle and then letting the camera decide where to put all the autofocus points. So while I'm doing the high speed shutter, I just hold it down, hold the back button, autofocus, and let the camera decide where it should focus. And that's been giving me the highest capture rate so far. is when shooting panning shots and you're standing is to plant your feet and tilt your body almost like a turret, and then try to keep the motion one fluid motion that matches the car. So I'm gonna play with my shutter speed down and try and get a huge blur on the next shots. Right now I'm at 1/20 at f/16 ISO 100. That's it for shooting panning shots in the grandstands. I'm gonna try and find another spot, maybe trackside or maybe right by where the cars launch. We'll see what I decide when I get down there. All right, guys, so now we're on the side of the track shooting a cross track, doing panning shots, hopefully getting a nice profile shot, and I'm still shooting at 1/20th at about f/16. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for panning shots, cross track. Getting some launching shots. Settings right now, I'm not really too sure. I'll probably be at f2, ISO 100, and somewhere around 1/1000, something like that with the shutter speed. Servo mode, just tracking the cars right in the middle. Guys, my second shooter is on the wall like a noob. Go ahead and look at. All right, back to me. He's fired. He's fired.
Is this what you're not supposed to do?
No, if there's behind you, yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, all right.
It is Chris, but not Bale.
Yeah, you're right.
I start shooting the right lane when I'm on this side and get the launch. And if I can get the other car in frame, I'll switch my focus and attention to the car in the far lane and try to get a trailing shot of that car or the other car they originally started shooting with. I never try to shoot with the meter exactly in the center. I always shoot to edit later. So that means that my meter is showing about 1 stop to 1.5 stops down below 0, so that later in post I can really push the R6's capabilities of bringing out the shadows and getting a more dynamic looking shot in the edit. Thing that I love about Thunder Valley is that the track faces west, so when the sun's setting you get amazing forward lighting on the front end of these cars, so you can really play with your settings to get a really dynamic photo. For these launching shots I'm using again the Canon R6, the Canon 35mm L, and I'm shooting at f2. Depending on the light and the sun going behind the clouds or not, I'm somewhere between 1/2000, 1/1000 on the shutter, and then ISO stays at around 100 right now since we got full sunlight. I don't think I saw you run.
Ran too. My first time.
No shit. Yeah. All right, so my favorite time at this track is right now when that sun is setting. So what happens every time, Derek?
Every time. Never fails. They clean the track or something happens. Best track in the world to come to for a sunset.
And they either prep the track or right now there's a spill or something and they got to clean it. And for us, oh, we're selfish. All we care about is that sunset.
Don't they know this is golden hour for us?
Golden hour. Yeah. 320 f2, and the ISO is varying depending on the lighting I'm getting. Right now, the shots from that truck are at ISO 200. I think I'm about to switch to a 35mm and get a little bit more of that sky in the shots. So here the only thing that's constant is the f1.8 on this lens, ISO 100, and I'm varying the shutter speed anywhere between 1/320 or 1/800 like on these last shots. Coverage here at Streetcar Takeover. Thank you guys.